everyone, and welcome back to the first match of the Grand Finals. Round 1 begins now. Turnbull AC's up against Moonrunners, and the bans are coming through. Mercury has been banned out. Athena will not make an appearance today, and 2 more bans to go. Chunga has been selected, and will it be Zeus, will it be Zhang Kui, or the elusive Ao Kwang on the ban selection?
Well, we still got Zeus in the list of people that are frequently banned out here. Athena, Mercury, Aries. These are the 4 standard bans that we saw all day during the NA tournament. Mercury, Athena, Zeus, Chunga seem to be the 4 go-tos for this current patch. The 4 guys you just don't want to deal with just because they're very difficult to handle. So with all the basics off the table, that leaves the question of who do you want for first pick? You got a lot of really good options. You've got Sobek, was who I was going to say first. Sun Wukong available, Tyr available, a lot. You got a nice selection of very powerful warriors to pick up.
Sobek selected as first pick there. Now it goes over to the first 2 picks for Moonrunners. And again, last game we saw, they picked characters that really weren't necessarily top picks. They were great picks, but not top picks. And that allowed the enemy team to get a lot of headroom in the selections there. Of course, Athena, Guan Yu already selected in one place. So now we're going to see Sobek, Guan Yu, and then Neith here in the first pick orders here. Moonrunner's going to grab up Neith and Guan Yu. Again, I don't know if Neith needed to be picked up here unless there was a player on their team that just absolutely has to play Neith, which I think is Running Tree. We saw Running Tree 2 matches ago who played a fantastic Neith, and that may be his favorite hunter and something that's very highly valued here. So back over to Turnbull AC to see what they want to go for. They have 2 more selections. Will they go for Poseidon?
Well, I'm pretty sure you're correct about Running Tree and the Neething squad. Looks like they're looking at Odin. We saw IR Smooth play Odin earlier. We saw him lay down the ring of timeout as his team brutally slaughtered their Minotaur in front of their faces, and there was absolutely nothing they could do about it. And looks like today it's going to be Hebo that goes where he pleases, the other god of water.
I Carried Hard just loves his water gods. Of course, we did just watch his Poseidon play, going 7-1-0 on Poseidon, shutting down every area of the map, and duoing the Fire Giant with Neith, of course. So we're going to see how that works out for this time around with Hebo. Across the way, Ao Kwang is selected for Moonrunners. Freya also hovered on. Will it be locked in is the question. Freya gets locked in. Ao Kwang still on the fence about it, or maybe buying some time for them to just discuss what they want to do. There goes the lock. Back over to Turnbull ACs. They need a hunter and they need a jungler. Now Hebo and Odin can both jungle. There's their jungler, and now they can go for an Onher, an Artemis, an Apollo, anything along those lines to see where they want to go. They have a lot of options on the table. Given the fact that they have a very sturdy team, they could go for an Artemis. Artemis would be pretty protected under this team. Fenrir would be able to zone that out using the ultimate as well to bring them away. Odin with the spear, Sobek with the disruption, and Hebo with the knockup. Artemis would be protected here. They could also go for on her for pure damage. A lot of places to impale them to. And of course, Apollo would have plenty of time to split push if they want to. So,
yes!
Cupid! The Cupid
That's exactly
is
what I was
locked!
thinking. Cupid is exactly what I was thinking.
Inside
they
of
have
Odin's
the
ultimate.
perfect setup for Cupid right now. Lay down the cripple inside Odin's ultimate. Nobody can get out. You're locking the ring of death. Cupid Sobek, the lane of death, has returned. Since Cupid got the slow buff on his heart bomb, but especially since the recent buffs. And also, you're going up against Guan Yu Neith. This is a lane comp that any of you that watched the NA tournament early today saw dominate so hard. Sobek Cupid versus Guan Neith is the most one-sided lane in the history of mankind. Sobek Cupid counters everything that team does so very, very hard, and if they can get a good run at playing this Cupid, or not Guan Neith, but Neith and anyone really, Cupid just destroys Neith. It's such a counter pick to Neith. Such a counter pick.
We'll see how they get it off the ground here. Cupid is... Man, he's an interesting character. If he's going to be played at all, he has to be played well. He's not a character that you can misuse and hope to do well with. So it's all on Sedgis right now to see if he can properly utilize the character. Cupid is a strong character, but definitely has a lot of downsides and upsides that are pretty spaced out. And of course, Cupid Ultimate is really what ties everything together. Now, you look at the build here. Hebo Ultimate, Fenrir Ultimate. They're going to want to be picking up beads here. Aegis Amulet is a strong thing for Cupid to counter. Cupid can throw out his ultimate or the Heart Bomb while they're inside of the Aegis Amulet, and when they come out, he can pop it immediately. One of the biggest strengths there for Cupid if you have a heavy Aegis Amulet lineup. But we'll see how they decide to react to this Cupid now, and we'll see how he plays out on top of everything. Bacchus Neith, a very aggressive lane. Cupid Sobek a very aggressive lane. They also have the jungles across the way. Freya looks like he will be in the jungle. Freya will be in the jungle. Guan Yu in the solo lane. Ao Kuang in the mid lane. And then Bacchus Neath for Moonrunners. For Turnbull, ACs. Fenrir in the jungle. Odin going to be taking the solo lanes. Cupid and Sobek in the long lane. And Hebo in the jungle. A pretty interesting matchup for both of them. Now, neither of these teams are very orthodox, and we'll see how the teams decide to implement them going forward. We're going to cut to a brief break to cut through the spectator delay, guys. This is the grand finals of the Code Green NA tournament, and we'll be right back. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Game 1 of the grand finals. We're going to be watching Moonrunners up against Turnbull ACs. Let's cover who's playing what, where they're going for what team. Moonrunners, the blue team, the bottom side of the map. I carried hard on Hebo going the mid lane. Sejus on Cupid in the Hunter role, supported by his Guardian. Dark Skull on Sobek. IR Smooth playing Odin. Another Snake in the jungle with Fenrir across the way. The red team, Turnbull AC. Zamu Lal on Ao Kuang. Jake and Wake playing Bacchus, supporting his Hunter. Running Tree on Neath. Gaga's Lil Monster playing Freya in the jungle. Of course, Beat Folder in the solo lane playing Guan Yu.
This might be the first time we've actually had a Warrior v Warrior solo lane all day, as we've had Hercules and Guan Yu's and Tiers all buying shields all morning, or just ignoring their lane counterpart. But for once, we actually have the man-off that solo lane was always meant to be, with the Guan Yu versus the Odin. The two beef castles building mystical marks and slapping each other for 5 to 7 damage per auto attack. This is what solo lane was truly meant to be.
Absolutely, and we'll see how that works out for them. Have the mystical mark being started up on both. Odin, character we haven't seen for quite some time. In fact, when solo lane came out, Odin was probably one of the primary solo lanes. Everyone loved playing him. He kind of just fell off. Combat Blink being activated, put into the game, the lowering of the damage there, and the need for someone who can dish out massive amounts of damage without taking a whole lot. Odin does do a lot with his teammates. Now, of course, the shout, his biggest benefit there in late game, increasing the attack speed for characters that benefit. Cupid also going to benefit from that. He put a little bit if he goes for Polynomicon, a little bit of magic damage on top of that. So, it's something that we have seen Odin be very, very effective, but I think the strongest point for Odin, and, what really is the requirement for playing him, is being able to combo with his ultimate, and Cupid definitely does benefit from that one. Hebo can go over the spears, but as far as being able to trap people, Freya can float over it, Neath can backflip, Bacchus can belly flop, and that's pretty much it for the enemy team. For his own team, he can trap in Cupid, Sobek, and Hebo, and they can't escape, but Fenrir can jump in and out.
He can, and also if you get Sobek in there, Sobek can lay down his unavoidable ultimate with the Cupid ultimate on top of that. They got some serious synergy going with that Odin ultimate. Odin ultimate. So that one 5 times fast. Now here in the left lane, Cupid Sobek is doing what they need to do, and that's be ridiculously aggressive. That's how this lane is played. They're an absolute kill lane, especially once Cupid hits level 5. They're going to be able to just destroy Neath. But for right now, they need to get as many charge praise as they can, flip people back. Cupid needs to go all-out aggression, landing heart bombs, and they're already doing that. They're already pushing out, being aggressive. Cupid's landed a ton of damage on Neath, got her down to about 200 health a second ago. They're doing this right.
Gonna push that left lane up towards their tower. Ao Kuang in the jungle, get that side camp. Fenrir and the bow, they're coming over here as soon as it respawns. Great timing there by both the enemy team, Turnbull ACS, and the friendly team, Moonrunners. Both these teams are timing the side camps properly. A minute and 40 seconds is how long it takes in order to pick those side camps up, and getting them on cooldown is really, really important here. Great ward placement from Sobek in the left lane is going to spot out Freya as she comes for the gank, and that's going to prevent the rotation over there. And Cupid just happily shooting his little hearts, farming up, knowing that Sobek's got his back, and for the time being, that will be the case.
Looking for an opportunity to get a good charge spray here, but of course, being Neath, she's going to be able to backflip away pretty quickly. It looks like a right lane has already descended to the point where they're pretty much ignoring each other. Odin's slapping Guan around a little bit, but they're both sitting about half health, and they're not really hurting each other very much. Neither of these characters has a ton of damage to be able to put out. But Guan is a pretty decent pick against Odin, because Odin has so much passive protection, and Guan just has the ability to shred those off with Howlu Assault, allowing him to actually get through with a bit of his damage.
Hebo in the jungle clearing out those camps is going to slow down the farm of Fenrir. Surprisingly enough, actually, Hebo is taking jungle camps away and then taking tower damage because of it. His tower took a little bit of harassment there, dropping down about 5 to 6% of his HP, so he can take that side camp. Just farming up as much as he possibly can. We're going to see the mid lane getting cleared out. Good water cannon, but in the meantime, Sobek actually gets picked off in the left lane. Bacchus ultimate, Neath ultimate, that's going to be enough, and now Freya comes over to try to get the Cupid. He can dash away, not in range of a banish just yet. She's getting there, just barely going to miss that one, and then hop her way away. For the time being, Cupid will survive, but Sobek goes down.
Cupid, unfortunately, completely whiffed on his ultimate, did not get neither Neath nor Bacchus locked in there properly, so he was unable to go all in with his damage. Easily could burst Neath down if he had her stuck in his ult and also went in with the heart bomb and just went ham. He could take her out, but she was only on the very edge of the ultimate, was able to get a backflip off as it went down. Didn't have anything there to secure it. Now he's going to go in now. He's going to flutter after the backflip, and here's what Cupid does. He just goes all in on people. Sobek showing up to help with this, but he threw Neath away from Cupid, but Cupid was able to reach her with a hit anyway. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Freya gets taken down by the Fenrir-Hebo combo, but Fenrir dies to the mighty storm afterward. So an even trade in the mid lane, but supplemented by a Neath pick in the left. That's 2 kills in favor of Moonrunner.
Yep, great pill there. I mean, we saw Hebo dash forward right as Freya was falling. She landed into the tidal wave, the tidal surge there, and just dropping right on top of it, and it was just too much for him to handle. The knockup, then right into the water cannon. I mean, Hebo played that beautifully. It really, if he missed any of those or was a little bit slower, he probably wouldn't have gotten the kill with the crushing wave right into the water spout water cannon. But he ended up getting it with perfect timing, so credit goes to Hebo there. Fender jumped away with the Brutalize into a tornado. I'm sure at that point he just like, the feeling that you get when you feel like you escaped and you land right into a tornado there, so ends up falling. So 1-for-1 exchange in the mid lane. 2-2 is the score right now, 5 minutes and 20 seconds into this match. It's proven to be a pretty good matchup.
So far, not a big difference. I mean, you look at the golden experience charts, and they're basically equal. They've spiked around a bit, but both teams are very, very even right now. No one's taking a big dominant lead early on. It's 2-2 on the kill board even. The goal is less than 100 different. Everyone's very evenly matched. We're waiting to see who gets the early advantage, who gets a big pick, possibly a tower, possibly an objective. But that gets them the real early lead, the real advantage they can build up.
Freya in the jungle here going up against, with the Alquang up against the Fenrir's going to jump over the wall. There goes the Irradiate doing a little bit of damage here. Does she have a banish? There's a Squall. Tornado come out. Alquang ultimate get him completely miss, and now Fenrir's got a snack. Hebo's going to run right into that tornado. Here comes the Bacchus. Belch the Gods coming out. Does he have the stun? He does have a Cupid ultimate buying some time. They're crippled right now. It's going to pop up on the Bacchus going backwards here. There's the water spout. Water cannon coming through. And Toxic comes out. There goes the Pulse Irradiate combination. And now Freya might have enough. She's going to get the Fenrir. A 1-for-2 exchange. Bacchus goes down there. And Cupid, Sobek want something more. They're going to back off there. Neath rotates over. What can she really do? Guan Yu's here as well. A big rotation. Charge, Prey. Heart Bomb slow. Backflip comes out. But here comes the Horsey going after Cupid. Does he have a dash? He's going to get the dash there. But they're going after Sobek instead. Towel Assault isn't going to be enough. Cannot be knocked up while he's channeling that. And Sobek may have forgotten. But if he did, he's going to remember now as he has fallen down 4-5 here in the 7-minute mark range. Moonrunners starts to pull ahead.
Definitely starting to pick up a little bit of an advantage there. So, it's not big. It's little. I mean, it's still, we're up to the 500 kill advantage they had before. But it's something. It's something they can start to work with. It's just a little bit building up. The Outlaw ultimate coming out, going to miss the Cupid. Mighty Storm not going to land either. He's actually taking a pretty decent amount of damage to the archers here. Dropping down to about a quarter of his HP. Maybe taking more harass than he possibly should. But with Alquang's ult on cooldown, there's nothing he's really going to be able to do to punish that.
Odin pushing forward here to see if he can't get this up towards the tower. Hebo by himself in the mid lane, getting some good farm up. Look at the graphs. A very small difference between these two teams. Bacchus on his way over to the mid lane, trying to steal us away from the Hebo, but that's a daunting task indeed. Hand of the Gods comes out, but misses one of them. Gonna get a 1-for-1. Each person gets a Harpy. Everyone gets the same amount. Very fair there of Bacchus to leave that one there. Boots finished up on Freya, as well as the Alquang Mystical Mark. Almost done on both Odin as well as the Guan Yu. I have Providence again on both Guan Yu and Bacchus in this game. Guan Yu just loves going solo lane, Hand of the Gods, into Eye of Providence.
Yeah, that's not a terrible build. I mean, you get that Mystical Mark built up a little bit, you're gonna be invincible. You get that Eye of Providence down, you get vision on your side of the jungle. Support tank's got the Eye of Providence for vision on his side of the jungle. That gives you vision pretty much everywhere. And they're trying to get Bacchus. Bacchus is gonna go down now too. One last auto attack from Fenrir there. But to finish up that thought, that gives you easy warding on both sides of the jungle. That gives you the vision advantage everywhere. When all they gotta do is get that Eye of Providence to rank 2 and you can start countering the enemy wards and guarantee. I mean, you can see it on the map. You see the little red dots everywhere. They have the vision advantage on both sides.
Left lane, we're going to see Cupid and Sobek pushing this one up. Great vision support from the Sobek itself. Hebo in the mid lane. Squall going to come out, not going to land tornadoes on the ground as well. We have Odin pushing up towards his Guan Yu. A pretty even matchup. Checking in on the gold numbers. Guan Yu sitting at 4,400 gold versus Odin's 4,500, so Odin beating this one out just by a slight margin. Like you mentioned, that vision does provide a lot for the Guan Yu, and he's going to hold on to it very dearly. And they're just going to they're going to clear each other's minion waves and walk past each other, head back towards their towers, and not say a word. They know exactly what the solo lane is, and they're going to hold on to it and just respect each other.
Solo lane. Double warriors, solo lane. You whack each other, and then you stop because you realize you're actually not accomplishing anything.
Fenrir heading towards the mid lane, runs right past a ward. Good vision coverage from the Ao Kuang right now. Freya gonna go to left camp. These camps are so very valuable. I mean, 90 gold, even if it's split, is still a lot of gold to be had. 45 gold on one person, I mean, that's a lot. Kills are about 150, so that's a third of a kill if you split it between two people, just for one side camp. They're so very valuable. 5-5 right now, but Fenrir sitting at 0, 2, and 4. Has his boots done. Cupid went straight for Chin's size. You right?
Looking at the solo lane here. Give it a second. Let's see if the... Yep, there they go. There they go. This is solo lane.
Solo lane.
Solo lane. Solo lane. I just flipped over to solo lane and saw them jumping in circles around each other. And I'm sorry, but that's the best summary of Double Warrior solo lane I've probably ever seen.
Double Warrior, double Mystical Mark is the big thing. They both have a lot of HP and physical protection. 300 health and 60 physical protection was the first item for both of them. The minions, the towers, and the enemy god all do physical, so there's nothing they can do. But here comes Odin getting jumped on here, trapping in the Guan Yu's gonna jump over Freya. They do some damage, but nothing to be had. Left side, tower dive coming out here. Neith's gonna go down, Cupid doing a lot of damage, and Fenrir goes over the Ragnarok, bringing Bacchus out of tower. He doesn't have a whole lot of mana left. There's the Heart Bomb, is gonna be enough. A few basic attacks, and that is one dead drunk man as Cupid comes out on top. Ended up getting a kill there. 3-0 and 3 on Cupid already. Has the chin size done. And that was a fantastic engagement. Here comes Freya in the right lane. Misses 2 shots on the ultimate. And Hebo survives. Here's the gumballs. Isn't going to be enough. 1, 2. She misses. Hits the third one. And that is a dead Hebo. A 2-for-1 exchange overall if you count the left lane. But Turnbull ACs take the lead on that. Does it balance it out? Nope. It's still in favor of Moonrunners as far as the overall gold and experience goes.
Yep, just very slightly. The game is still incredibly evenly matched. Absolutely anyone's game right now. No one's really been able to get a decent lead at all. I mean, it's kept dipping ever so slightly into Moonrunner's favor, but not really making any significant dent in either direction with a big gold lead. No one's really able to get anything here. Guan Yu coming over, manages to steal the blue buff from Fenrir. Fenrir scratches him in disappointment, but of course, Guan Yu has the Mystical Mark, so he's doing about as much damage to Fenrir with Mystical Mark as Fenrir's doing to him with auto attacks. Neith ultimate coming out. Odin manages to get in the way and take this one because, again, Mystical Mark, he doesn't take a whole lot of damage from physical sources, really, and lets Fenrir go back to whatever he's doing off the jungle, while Ao Kuang manages to take the mid tower.
Left lane, Cupid and Sobek pushing up against. There's a grab on the Neith. Heart Bomb not gonna land, as she wasn't technically on the ground just yet. Or she just got flung back, but I don't know. Cupid just slightly missed the shot on that one. Here comes heals coming up. Ao Kuang, Freya's here slow on the Sobek. Tornado's gonna land. That's a kill. Can they get the Cupid? There is the cripple slow. Root will keep in place, but there is the mesmerize. Can Ao Kuang get this? Ao Kuang ultimate come through. Not gonna land. Cupid. The escape of baby Cupid goes through the jungle, and he will survive a 4-man rotation. And if they push this mid tower and got it right now, that would be a big gain for Turnbull. But they just don't have the vision we do.
Pretty sure Cupid just made some butt diamonds there, for sure. Guan Yu now going in on Odin, because I guess the barrier of friendship goes away when he's in your tower. There's a line. There's a line, and that line is when Odin is actively about to drop your tower down. Fenrir now rotating over, looking for an opportunity to go on Neath, but she does see him coming and is able to backflip away. Now a big rotation to right lane, but Odin locks everyone out with his cage, dropping it in the passageway there so nobody can actually get in, and jumps out before the 4-man rotation can make anything happen. But now he's standing alone, trying to stop 4 people from taking his solo lane tower.
There goes a root in tower range. Sobek coming in, getting caught here by the Neath in the left lane, but Neath has no room to go in. Hebo getting jumped on in the meantime. Bacchus belly flops, slow from Freya. Burst damage, crushing wave comes out. There's a tornado, and he water spouts. Don't know what he water spouted there. He's just growing some trees. Charge comes out in the left lane. Looks like it could be kill on the Neath. Sickening strike is not off cooldown, but the minions! The minions! They get the kill. Neath actually hit the Sobek, pulling aggro, and the minions killed off Neath. A 1-for-1 exchange. Freya and now Kwong are going to be too little, too late going through this, and they're going to go ahead and back off. Huge pickup there in the left lane. Got the Neath, got the tower in exchange for Hebo. Hebo does have a Doom Orb, so that makes it a little bit more viable, but at the same time, tough situation to be in.
And definitely so. With that tower picked off, that brings him up to even in the Land of Towers and brings the gold back to basically no difference whatsoever. Meanwhile, in right lane, Odin and Guan Yu continue to ignore each other and do their sort of business and wherever. But it looks like the friendship and the Buttwiener, actually the Buttwiener's back. Looks like they've returned and they're back in the land of Buttwiener. Oh, just kidding. Odin's mad. Odin's mad because Fenrir's here. And Guan Yu's going to get on his horse to absorb the Fenrir ultimate. He's going to stay and fight, it looks like, though. But Odin jumps slightly too early, lands in the Guan Yu stun. Ao Kwong is rotating over as well. Odin's in a very bad place right now. Drops his man ring, has all 3 of them trapped inside, giving his life so that Fenrir may escape. The Neath ultimate was headed over as well. They threw everything at Odin to take him down.
Mid lane getting pushed up here. Cupid and Hebo going against this. Cupid taking a lot of damage from the tower. Here comes Freya. Does she have a slow? He has his dash already on cooldown going right. He's dodging the attacks. He's going to go for something, trying to get this out. Avoiding the shots here from Freya. There's the ultimate, and this is one dead baby. Even after one miss, Freya's still going to get it. Cupid goes down too far up and took too much damage from the tower. And Hebo, by himself, you're going to find some support and solace in Sobek's warm, embracing arms. The Gold Fury is available for either team to take at this point. No real control from either team. There goes Fenrir going for the brutalized possibility here on the Bacchus. There's the stun. Does he have a Ragnarok? It looks like he does not. No activation there. Mid tower is available to be taken out by Turnbull ACs, but they don't really have the positioning to get it just yet. If Ao Kwong, oh, they both go. He has to teleport. He's going to teleport to secure it.
Yep, he is going to get in there to keep that safe. I mean, like how ridiculously low it is right now. You can pretty much ignore any defense as Cupid, Fenrir, or Odin, and just jump in there and finish it off with probably literally one auto attack. It's that low. It is a black silhouette on the minimap. There's not even a red portion to this anymore. That tower is dead. It just hasn't actually realized it yet. It looks like Cupid might be going to do just that.
Just dive in, shoot it. We'll see. We'll see if he does.
We'll
He's got
see.
the boots
He's
done. He's got the movement speed.
He's hunting.
He's got the attitude. He's got the
It's
pizzazz.
It's a Bacchus. The fat guy there. He doesn't want to argue with the fat guy. Fat guy's going to jump in and counter ward.
Just sat a ward on it. We got the hops going on the right lane again.
Yep.
Pulsing mystical marks everywhere. Cupid gonna push out the left lane, trying to find something. He's gonna float around the jungle. Only one tower down for each team right now. Of course, the mid tower is on its last breath and can be taken out at any second. And if they push it up enough, and honestly, I think if Hebo spent more time pushing and less time farming the jungle, that tower would have been dead a long time ago. Taking a lot of farm away from the Fenrir. In fact, Fenrir is going to be the least farmed on his team because of it. And you can see, look at the level differential. Level 18 Hebo right now. Initiation goes in the jungle here. There's a crushing wave. Got a hit on the very edge and the finish on Freya. Ao Kwong ultimate going to run right into Hebo, but doesn't do enough. And now, poor Bacchus. Neath actually hit that on the Fenrir with 4 gods in close proximity. Had the outside edge on Fenrir, gets the kill to Neath ultimate. And now the Gold 3 gets started up. Neath wants to do something. Charge Prey. Gonna come out, not gonna hit anything there. Hebo quite low here. She has no ultimate. There's the Cupid Heart Bomb, forcing it back, dashing forward, getting some base attacks off. No backflip available. Just gonna let that one go. They want the Gold 3.
Yeah, there's really nothing Neath is going to be able to do, and it's not worth Cupid's potential life to try and chase down a Neath when she's falling back to her tier 2 tower. It's just Unnecessary greed there, and there's no reason to waste that when you could be going back and securing a gold tier for your team. It's worth a lot more gold. Now we suddenly have 1,000 gold advantage in favor of Turnbull. It's small, still, not a big advantage. Cupid finally decided to go sneeze on mid tower, and now we have a 2,000 gold advantage in favor of Turnbull. The biggest advantage we've had all game.
And in favor of Turnbull, surprisingly enough, so they're going to hold on to that a little bit of experience. So it's pretty much even across the board. 18 minutes and 30 seconds in this match. Not a big lead. While you're going to try and smack up the Odin. A teleport coming out. It's going to be the Sobek. He's going to hop away. Fenrir's here. They actually might be able to get this help. Nope, there's the horse. You can get some distance off. The question is he going to be in range in time. Charge Spray comes out, but of course CC immunity will prevent that one. And Guan Yu's going to run back towards his tower and absolutely fine. Freya coming over. Banish. There's the Radiate Pulse combination. Tail Up comes out. The burst damage coming through. If she hit all those shots and ulted, she would have killed the Sobek, but missed a few on the back end there. Hebo forcing back the Bacchus with a big splash of water. Time to go away. Comet Blink available for Ao Kuang. Does not want to get caught by that Odin ultimate. That's the only blink on the enemy team. In fact, we see 3 Hand of the Gods and 2 Eye of Providences for Moonrunners right now.
Absolutely getting melted is the Sobek here by the Freya, working on his sovereignty, but until that gets to rank 3, it doesn't give him literally anything to defend himself or magical. Of course, at rank 3, he gets the aura in there, which is a little bit of a protection from both. Odin going in with the dude ring right there, but he's just trapped for his own death right now. There's no way he's going to get out of this. He's staying there a little bit too long now. Freya gets thrown in the tower and then picked up by Fenrir. She beads out, goes into her ultimate immediately. Guan Yu taking a lot of damage, and the Hebo ultimate's going to finish that one off there. Ao Kuang coming through. It does... didn't hit anything, actually. That was the Bacchus knock-up that got Fenrir and Sobek. There's the Neath ultimate coming across the universe to hit Fenrir. And one more water cannon's going to finish off Bacchus. So 1 for 2 trade right now. Both solo laners dying, as well as Bacchus and also Freya, who just got vaporized by Hebo.
That damage, my god. So Sobek jumps in, the Hebo, and well, for those of you who don't know, Hebo's water spout functions as a knockup, but also throws you in the direction that you're running. So Hebo got a water spout on Freya in the short window that she was moving forward, so it launched Freya towards Hebo and Sobek, immediately grabbed up, and that was going to be the end. Water spout grabs and then Sickening Strike to finish it off. So Freya goes back in a little bit too soon. Cupid in the left lane trying to find the Neath. She's gonna die as Cupid has enough damage to take her out there. 20 minutes and 30 seconds in this match. Cupid is trying to pressure this tier 2 tower, forcing a teleport. Ao Kuang not going to rotate over, and as far as the graphs look right now, 3,300 gold and 3,000 experience in favor of Turnbull ACs. They have a pretty significant lead.
Cupid Neath, man, it's a hard counter. Cupid's entire kit is built to kill Neaths. That's what it's for. It's what he's there for. Water Spout from Hebo is going to be a whiff on the Ao Kuang in mid lane, so he's able to get away there. And right now, Bacchus and Guan Yu are on the side. They're on the flank. They've got the positioning. Guan Yu is going in for... or he could also just be walking through everyone back to his lane. I guess he's also just choosing to pretend that there's not an enemy team in this game, and he's just going to go where he pleases as he walks over, but not in time to stop Odin from taking down his tower. Now, Odin's going to go in, do what damage he can, which is going to not be much, but he's going to be a distraction as the rest of his team collapses on this Guan Yu. Look, we have everyone coming around. Cupid and Fenrir coming up from the back. Sobek coming around the front. The Odin ring, the ring of manliness. No horse is going to get away from that one. Fenrir jumps into duel. Guan Yu tries to dash away, but the Sobek ult still lands, and Fenrir's going to finish him off with an auto attack there. Meanwhile, Hebo blows up Bacchus in the mid lane. Aegis's, but a Neath ultimate says no, and puts him in the ground as Freya vaporizes his very soul. Fenrir unable to reach for the jump. Same story for Sobek and Charge Prey. They're both going to get away there, but a 3-for-1 trade after Odin took that tower, and Odin's still just pushing.
Push up this right side tower, drop a half HP with that Odin Shell on the minions, getting a lot of damage out. Spirit Arrow going to come out, not going to land, and Silva goes in tower range. Here comes the backdoor Cupid coming through the backside. There is the Cupid ultimate. Keep her in place, going to pop in time. It will indeed. Freya gets the Sobek, but how much was it worth it here? Odin needs to get out of tower range. He's going to back off of that one. There is the banish on Cupid. They traded Sobek and a tower, or a Neath and a tower for Sobek. Was not a great trade for Moonrunners, and that's going to reflect here in the graph. 6,200 gold now, 6,200 experience tied up. A fantastic lead now for Turnbull, and they have map control.
Turnbull's definitely building up a nice lead after just being slightly behind for what was the entire first, 17 minutes of the game. Now they've suddenly just took off. The early game was very even. Everyone was incredibly well matched. But as this game goes on, it's a battle of hyper magical carry versus hyper magical carry. Freya and Hebo, both extremely bursty, but both able to bring their weapons to bear pretty effectively. But Hebo's got 1,000 gold more in the farm. And then also you look at the carries. And like I said, Cupid is 2,000 gold ahead of Neith. Cupid has such a huge advantage right now because Cupid has just been destroying Neith every time they cross paths, because that's what Cupid was genetically engineered to do, was kill Neiths. I cannot overstate how hard of a counter this is. It's one of the hardest in-class counters in all of Smite. In Hunters, or in class, like as in 2 Hunters against each other. I can't think of anything a whole lot worse than Cupid v Neith.
We've got Jotun's Wrath finished up with Chin's Size. I think on her Artemis is also a very fantastic counter. On her popping his Desert Fury in the response there. Atlas on the ground, there's a Water Spout. Some basic attacks coming out here. Wards on the ground. Odin being pushed back. Some basic damage coming out from Freya, dropping Odin down to half right now. Odin is severely lacking in magical protection, has 2 physical protection items, but the magic is what he's afraid of now. Ao Kuang and Freya have free reign on Odin if they need it. A lot of times he gets trapped in the spears. He needs that protection. Hebo getting forced back here. Looks like they're not going to go on it just yet. Hebo still pressing the envelope. There's the Heart Bomb. Towel Assault going to come out. Jumping over. Odin trying to find something here. The tornadoes are on the ground. Vender's going to accidentally grab it. Water Spout. Crushing Wave, and there goes Freya. Immediately vaporized. The slow comes out from Cupid in the mid lane. Neith's going to back away, and at this point, Bacchus on the back end. Water Spout not going to land. Belly Flops in place. Intoxicate. Tornado. Ao Kuang ultimate. Isn't going to get any kills. Not going to pick up the Cupid. Just barely missing. Neith ultimate coming out here. Guan Yu's going to try and get something. Forcing back the Cupid. Not going to get that one. Odin's still alive. Bacchus is down. Freya is down, of course. Slow comes out from Odin. Hebo comes. Here comes the Sobek. There's the burst damage. Odin ultimate on the backside, just preventing anyone from coming out here. I don't know why he ulted there. Just did not want anything to happen. He was scared. He was very scared.
He is a terrified man, and he does not want to die. So he drops his Odin ring for safety, just to make sure no one was trying to follow the baby who already protected Recall home. He's a very protective father. Ao Kuang coming around to see if he can do anything about this Gold Fury here, but of course he does not have his ultimate, as he just threw it. And also Hebo is currently going where Hebo pleases, which is towards Ao Kuang. That's just what Hebo does.
Yeah, he's on his own thing. He's on his own thing right now. 26 minutes about to come up on the top clock. Freya actually went for Standard Fatalis instead of Hastened Fatalis, surprisingly enough. Standard Fatalis is actually really, really strong on Kronos, but I think Hastened Fatalis is a little bit more effective on Freya overall, just able to move that around and replaces the sprint that used to be so powerful on Freya and works so well with that Pulse Irradiate combination. Freya going to run through the jungle on the right side here, check out the Fire Giant, and make sure nobody is up to risky business there. Looking over the way, we see Fenrir going deep into penetration with that Focus Void Blade into Jotun's Wrath. We have a big stack for tankiness up on Sobek going Sovereignty, about to finish off his Bulwark of Hope here. And now Hebo, after buying Bulwark of Hope, going right into the Rod of Tahuti. His Doomor most likely pretty close to stacked here. In fact, he just recently died. He'll be holding on to that one for the time being. Polynomicon 2 on Ao Kuang. Polynomicon about to come out and make its debut in this game, and a very, very strong combination that is.
Ao Kuang Anomicon is a scary force, and it hurts lots. Basically, the double squall nuke laser of insta-death. Once Ao Kuang gets the later game and he starts getting that 600-700 magical power, that stuff Ao Kuang just does by being late game. I mean, right now, he's sitting on not that much. He's pretty low. He's only got about 170 magical power from items. It's not very much at all. So it's not huge, but as he gets his build finished, it's going to get huge, and those Polynomicon hits are going to be massive.
Base attacks coming through here from Hebo, forcing back this wave, clearing it out with the Water Cannon. There's a Banish going to this one. Belly Flop comes out. Is the Intoxicated? Will come out. Tornado comes out. Ao Kuang will have a perfect ultimate opportunity, but it's going to go away from the Odin Spears. Sobek ultimate, do some AoE damage here. Guan Yu goes up. The burst damage from the Polynomicon going to be too much there. Going to force them away. There's a slow on the Atlas. Fenrir forced back. Crushing wave hitting 2 players caught inside of tower range. Their Tornado. Ao Kuang ultimate not going to be enough. The Tornado will finish him off there in the lane. Odin forced back here. Freya might have enough to finish him off. Neith ultimate will keep him in place and finish him off there as he lands. And now Sobek by himself going away. That was actually a hunterless fight. Neither of the hunters were there for that engagement, and it looks like it went deeply into Moonrunners' favor as they only lost Guan Yu for three players, two of which had a Heartseeker and a Doom Orb.
Very, very good pickup for Moonrunner, and something they desperately needed right now. Something to kind of stem the tide, stop Turnbull's momentum, which they have absolutely done. Freya's getting to that point now where she's just starting to do crazy damage. Freya hurts a lot. And on top of that, they've got a lot of coordination with the Ao Kuang ultimate, which even without a ton of magical power, also hurts a lot. We saw it vaporize a good 60% of Hebo's HP, and it wasn't enough to actually kill him, but just a tornado tick or two afterwards, and he was in the ground. Freya able to mop up very effectively with her gumballs of death, as you say, the Irradiate Pulse combo that just hits so hard.
Look at the damage numbers right now. We're going to see Freya dropping 19,000 damage. But swing your eyes to the left and see Hebo dropping 29,000 in a 29-minute game. He's dropping 1,000 player damage a minute this game. Hebo is absolutely shredding the enemy team and burning through their HP bars. Everyone else around the same amount. In fact, overall, Moonrunners have more damage dealt across the board. Ao Kuang, Guan Yu, and Bacchus around the 11,000 damage mark. 8,500 for Neath, not able to get much in there. Cupid sitting at 18,000 himself, so Cupid dropping numbers right now. Tornado on the ground. Freya by herself. Ao Kuang ultimate do some damage to both of them actually. The tornado's just work. There's Freya ultimate. Neath ultimate will finish off the Fenrir, and Bacchus gets splashed on. He cares not for that though. Intoxicate comes out here, hitting 3 of those players, forcing them back away from this. Cupid in the mid lane, a little bit exposed. The question is, will they go for it? Cupid surrounded. Guan Yu ultimate is maybe the end of Cupid as we know it. He dashes away and prevents the horse, and now forces the Guan Yu back towards his tower. So that was just a free Fenrir.
Absolutely free Fenrir with no retribution. Bach is trying to jump in here. He doesn't have his Intoxicate, so there's not a ton he can really do. Cupid just showing up and bullying people back into their towers. Cupid is a mean little baby right now, just pushing people around where he wants them to go. Odin, of course, is retreated back to solo lane land just to provide pressure here and kind of push. But there's no more towers to take in right lane. I mean, any pressure he's putting over there doesn't really matter because it's not like he's going to solo push down a Phoenix without anyone showing up to stop him. So he's really just not doing a whole lot of anything at the moment.
We have Odin here, got to push up into the mid lane. Cupid going to force his back here. Actually going to caught to protected recall is going to be enough. It looks like it will. He goes on home. He's just going to go ahead and use this every time he's in danger, and he's perfectly fine with that. And right there, it proves to be effective. Deathbringer 2 here up on Cupid. We have the Bulwark of Hope finished by Sobek. Very, very tanky. Jotun's Wrath about to be finished there by the Fenrir. But Hebo, when he finishes that rod, he's going to be even scarier than he already is.
That's going to give him astronomical amounts of magical power. Hebo's already sitting on 350 magic power, so that Rod Tahuti, when finished, is not only going to give him another 25 base, putting him to 375, it's going to give him another plus 25% on top of that, putting him to lots. It's going to hurt people a lot. His crushing wave is going to crush very effectively, and even just his spammable water cannons are going to chunk people. Chunk anyone, no matter how beefy they think they are, with the Obsidian Shard Voidstone combo. He has enough penetration to shred through basically anyone's defenses. The Bulwark on Bacchus might as well not be there. Ao Kuang's Voidstone, don't care. He's just going to be absolutely ripping people.
Forcing this back. Looks like the Gold Fury is going to be started up here by Turnbull ACs. Going to make sure this gets carried out. Sobek going to come over. Bacchus going to try and force this back as well. Does he have tier 3 Hand of the Gods? It looks like he does, but so does Sobek. And as well as the Odin. In fact, there's 2 Fist of the Gods coming out here. There's Initiation. Cupid ultimate. Crushing wave coming through. Freya's down already, and now the Tornado doing work in front of the Gold Fury. Fist of the Gods coming out here. Not going to do a whole lot. Gold Fury goes Ao Kuang ultimate. They do some damage to Sobek and Hebo, but Hebo doing some work. Trying to escape is the Neath, but Fenrir plays fetch and grabs her up, but not able to bring her back all the way as Neath does escape. And now Odin wants the noodle. Going to force him back towards his tower. Overall, going to be a 3-for-1 exchange. They lose the Cupid. But Cupid has no Heartseeker jumping up the wall. Fenrir's going to find Ao Kuang under tower range and get it out. The Gold Fury ended up going, I believe, in favor of Moonrunners here. They stole it away as far as the graph does show. But at this point, the follow-up was too much, and Turnbull gets the kills.
Yeah, they did. They were able to steal that Gold Fury away. It was actually pretty hilarious to watch there. Both Fists of the Gods or Hand of the Gods looks like they went out literally simultaneously. Like, you saw them both come down. I guess there was just a fraction of a second between the two. And now they're going to go cash in on this Fire Giant just after the 4 kills they picked up, losing only Cupid. However, Cupid is a lot of their damage. You can see it's kind of slow. This isn't going down very quickly, but it doesn't matter because Moonrunner has nobody to contest with.
Yeah, they're all dead. No map vision, no map control to try and contest that one. That's going to be a free Fire Giant buff. Looks like Cupid did spawn in time to pick that one up, able to get the buff on himself, and that's, they may have been just holding back to make sure that Cupid got the buff. No contention there. We have the Polynomicon finished there on Alquanganomicon. Is that what you say? I like Polynomicon.
Alquanganomicon!
I like Polynomicon. But the penetration coming out from this hidden shard will be there as well. Shoes of focus against the CDR. Freya now finally going for that Polynomicon herself. In fact, she started to forego finishing off the Void Stone and just wanted the burst damage to just kick someone in the teeth. Hebo, every single team fight, in fact, I believe the last 3 team fights, Hebo has been able to burst Freya immediately and prevent her massive amounts of damage from ever being affected there. In that last team fight, Hebo went straight forward, and Hebo, to his credit, has been picking his targets very, very smartly. He waits for his opportunity, and as soon as Freya joins the fight, bursts her immediately and backs off, and that's a lot of damage that Moonrunners desperately needs. There is the Ragnarok coming out here. Sobek gonna come with the ult, is gonna be enough, gonna fight through the Need is gonna be enough. Signature Strike comes out, and they will get her. In fact, they're gonna back off. Fenrir's just fine. Odin gets the trap. Hebo on the outside, gonna go for the water cannon. There's a Freya ultimate, not doing a whole lot there. Pockets, belly flop, crushing wave is gonna be enough. The water cannon is gonna come through here. Water spout does come out, but Hebo in a lot of danger, gonna be forced back. Aegis Amit, Bulwark of Hope gonna buy him some time. Alice on the ground. Alco ultimate coming through, hitting the Hebo, but not killing him off. Unfortunately enough, needed that Polynomicon to come through, but no base attack available. Charge Prey comes out. Guang going for the Towel Assault, forced to back off as the water spout comes through. They're able to get that one. There's the Squall. What can they do at this point? Cupid pushed the left lane. They got a team fight win in the right lane. The right Phoenix goes down. 2 Phoenixes are down. They had the Fire Giant buff and no deaths. Turnbull has this game until Moonrunners pull something out or Turnbull screws up.
Well, Hebo's caught out alone, but they're not really catch him down here. They're not going to be able to run him down. The last tier 2 tower for Moonrunners is being taken down, and now Turnbull is pushing in, ready to finish this game up. They're ready for freedom. Hebo is sitting at, what are we looking at right now, Hebo? What are we looking at? 732 magical power. And no big deal. That's just your average 732 magical power Hebo. As you saw, the ult hit for I would say over 90% of Freya's health bar. She was at full health, got hit by just Crushing Wave, and was down to 200 or 300. It's hitting so hard. He is almost one-shotting people at this point. And with his shred, he doesn't really care how much protections they have, like I mentioned earlier. He ults through, just hits as many people as he can, and destroys hopes and dreams. Ao Kuang, the counterpart here, is not nearly as built up. He has 2 penetration items, the Void Stone and Obsidian Shard. The Shoes of Focus give him CDR. Polynomicon is just Polynomicon. He doesn't have any hard damage items. So as you saw, a Hebo at a quarter of his health eats the Ao Kuang ult in the face and lives. The counterpart isn't doing as much damage.
Hebo dropping 41,000 damage, doubling everyone else in the game individually. 21,000 damage done by Freya, Ao Kuang, and Cupid, but Hebo has double that. Absolutely dominating the damage department. Like you said, he's going hard damage. In fact, with that Doom Orb fully stacked, the penetration that he has and the scaling from his rod, he hurts, and he hurts a lot. Mid Phoenix now under pressure here by Turnbull. See if they can't get this done. The Minotaur is going to be exposed quite soon. And Moonrunners, they're rallying together. They want to get something out. Hebo still jungling, trying to get something out of the jungle, wants to get as much as he can. There's a great beats from Freya to avoid that pull from Sobek. Mid Phoenix does go down. Now they force this up. Can't get the Minotaur, the slow from the Sobek. There's a big burst. There's a tail forcing them into the well. Water spout. Water cannon come out. Guanyu ultimate. Bacchus ultimate. Is it going to be enough? Great trap. They're in timeout yet again. And now the Minotaur is going to get completely bursted. Or will it? Alcohol ultimate coming through. Do they have enough? They're going to get it. They lose the Sobek in the process, but who cares? They won the game. And now we go to see the stats of this 30-20 game 1. 37 minutes in. Turnbull takes a fantastic victory, pushing this to game 2.
How does the Odin timeout keep happening? This is the second time he's laid down the ring of timeout.
That's awesome.
And just, it is a beautiful thing, really. Absolutely beautiful. Hebo ending the game there with 45,000 damage. Double everyone but Ao Kwang. And pretty close to that. Ao Kwang, of course, topping the damage for Moonrunners by merit of being Ao Kwang, but not terribly far ahead of Freya, who laid down a lot of single target damage herself. Looking at the damage numbers here, I mean, really, Hebo was just their damage. Cupid had a decent amount, but that was mostly just from him 1v1ing Neith and destroying her in lane. As far as Fenrir, I mean, Fenrir got outdamaged by Odin and Sobek. He was pretty much there for the picks and control with Ragnarok and the stun on his leap. He wasn't able to really put that much damage in because in-game, he can't really get into fights and stick around and lay down a lot of damage.
He's going to see what he can do in the next match, though, and that's what's coming up next. Game 2 of this grand final series. We're going to see what turns out. I mean, Turnbull is up game 1, and that's always the hardest thing to come back from. Every team has their own strategy and how they want to deal with being down game 1 into going into game 2 of a best of 3. You know if you lose it, then you'll end up losing all of it. So everything's on the line right now for Moonrunners, but Turnbull, at this point, they're sitting pretty. I mean, if they lose the next match, they still have a third match to play. They're not really too pressured. And the fact that they won it so convincingly that time around, it's a tough one for them to lose. I mean, obviously 2 more games to play if they lose the next one. And of course, they might pull something out crazy in the next match. And we'll see how that works. I mean, they had great solo lanes. Their mid lane was strong. Hebo dropping massive amounts of damage. So maybe in game 2, Moonrunners might want to focus down the mid lane and make sure he doesn't get off the ground. But we're going to find out in the next match. We're going to cut to a brief break, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to donate to the Divine Intervention charity tournament that's coming up in December. We're running an event today where if you do donate, you will have the opportunity to win God Pack or 800 gem code, as well as the fact you'll enter in all the benefits for Divine Intervention, whether it be winning a Steel Series headset, mouse pad, or keyboard, t-shirts, God Packs, gems, all kinds of crazy stuff, and you'll be able to play in the tournament and win some gems there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll be right back with the Game 2 of the Grand Finals. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Oh, this? You want to know how you could win all this, and much, much more, huh? Let's get started. Introducing Divine Intervention, a charity tournament hosted by Tiermonster.com, with all proceeds going to American Red Cross to aid them in their global disaster relief efforts. 32 teams will be headed by community members and will compete in a standard